General Hospital will reveal Maurice Benard, Ngoi Sa Noi Tieng Qua General Hospital. De Kong Na Nai Chi Trick Quiet Din Qua ABC Kai Hui Bo Kak Vo Kich Xa Fong Kin Dien All My Children Va One Life to Live. Trong Mot Kuok Tro Chien De Cam Suk Trend Podcast State of Mind. Benard de Mo Long Ve Su That Vong Va Noi Dao Ma Quiet Din Nai De Lai, Kong Chi Doi Voi On Ma Con Doi Voi Hung Tru Nuoi Ham Mo Tren Ton Nagioi. Gay 14 Thang 4 Nam 2011. Mot Dao Mok Dao Buon Doi Voi and Hung Nuoi Utik Phim Trian Hin Dai Tap, Kai Buk Mon Koi Kung Da Ha Soang Doi Voi All My Children Va One Life to Live. De La En Hung Vo Kich Xa Fong De Gon Bua Voi Con Jia Sut Han 40 Nam, Tero Ton Mo Fan Kong The Thu Trong Van Hoa Trian Hin Mai, Tai Nin. Quiet Din Ngot Qua ABC De Gay Soc Va Lam Tan Vo Tre Tim Qua Kak Dien Vien Kung Nu Nuoi Zem. In the conversation, Maurice Benard didn't hesitate to voice his firm belief that ABC had made a grievous mistake by canceling All My Children and One Life to Live. They know they made a mistake, Benard said. His voice filled with conviction. They know they made a huge mistake by canceling these two soap operas. These were not just words of regret about the shows being taken off the air. They were an acknowledgement of the immense power and influence that daytime TV audiences had, a power that ABC, in its decision, seemed to have underestimated. Benard's words echoed the deep sense of betrayal and loss that many felt when the sudden cancellations of All My Children and One Life to Live were announced. These shows weren't just part of the television landscape, they were cultural touchstones, beloved by millions over the decades. The decision to cancel them left a void that couldn't be filled by any new programming, a void that many fans and actors alike still feel to this day. The emotional connection that fans had with these shows wasn't something ABC had fully realized or understood when making their decision. The shows were not just part of a routine. They were woven into the fabric of people's daily lives, providing both escapism and emotional catharsis. Benard, who had been a part of General Hospital for decades, recognized how crucial the relationship between daytime television and its viewers was. Daytime TV audiences are loyal in a way that is unmatched by any other form of entertainment, Benard said. He understood that fans weren't just passive viewers, they were an integral part of the stories being told. Each new episode wasn't just a new broadcast. It was an event in the lives of those who tuned in. And when ABC canceled the shows, it wasn't just the end of an era for the television industry, it was the end of a shared experience for those millions of fans who had spent years following the characters and the dramatic narratives had unfolded in real time. Cameron Matheson, a longtime colleague of Benard's and a star of All My Children, fully agreed with Benard's sentiments. Matheson shared that he vividly remembers the day he received the call informing him that All My Children was coming to an end. It was a moment that he described as feeling like the end of an entire era of television. It was a big part of the audience, Matheson reflected. We saw how deeply the viewers cared. The loyalty they had. What Frank Valentini is doing at General Hospital shows that power is still there. Matheson's words underlined the fact that the impact of soap operas was not just about their longevity, but about the emotional and psychological connections that were built over decades. The audiences weren't simply following fictional characters, they were invested in their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs. For Matheson, the cancellation of All My Children was not just a professional blow, but a personal one. The show had been part of his life for years, and the thought of it ending felt like a personal loss. It wasn't just a job, it was a relationship with the audience, a bond that had been nurtured over time. And that bond, Matheson recognized, was something that ABC had misjudged when making the decision to cancel the show. What the network had failed to understand was that the fans were not merely watching for entertainment. They were emotionally invested. The decision to cancel All My Children didn't just impact the cast and crew, it shattered a community that had formed around it. A community that continued to support the show even after its end. Benard's pointed critique of ABC was not just about the loss of All My Children and One Life to Live, it was about the failure to recognize the immense cultural significance these shows had. The impact of these cancellations went far beyond the world of daytime television. It reverberated through the lives of millions of viewers, many of whom had grown up with these shows as a part of their daily routines. The loyalty that viewers had shown over the years was something that Benard and Matheson both recognized as being irreplaceable. Even now, years after the cancellations, both Benard and Matheson continue to reflect on the legacy of the shows and the impact they had on the television industry. "The power of soap opera fans is undeniable," Benard said. "And I think the networks are starting to realize that now." His words were not just a reflection on the past, they were a hopeful look toward the future. He believed that while the cancellation of All My Children and One Life to Live was a significant blow to the soap opera genre, the love and loyalty of the audience would continue to sustain the genre for years to come. The heart of daytime television, as he put it, was still beating, its pulse may have slowed, but it would never fade completely. Both Benard and Matheson's reflections serve as a reminder that the shows weren't just a source of entertainment, they were a cornerstone of a shared cultural experience. And that experience, built on decades of storytelling, will never be forgotten by the millions who lived it every day. The power of soap operas may have been overlooked by the networks, but it is something that the fans will never let go of. They may have lost All My Children and One Life to Live, but the passion for daytime television will never die. However, what both Benard and Matheson came to realize was that the replacements ABC attempted to introduce after the cancellations of All My Children and One Life to Live, such as The Revolution and The Chew, would never fill the void left by these beloved soap operas. Despite the fact that The Chew lasted for 7 years, the abrupt failure of The Revolution after only 6 months underscored an undeniable truth. No show could replace the emotional depth and the unique bond that All My Children and One Life to Live had cultivated with their audiences over the decades. The cancellation of these soaps wasn't just about the loss of the shows themselves, it was the loss of a connection that spanned generations. Something that a talk show or culinary program simply couldn't replicate. The Revolution, a daytime talk show that was meant to focus on lifestyle changes and self-improvement, was touted as the next big thing after the cancellation of the soaps. However, it fell short of meeting the high expectations that ABC and its audience had. The show lasted only 6 months before being abruptly cancelled, a clear indication that it lacked the emotional and narrative pull that All My Children and One Life to Live had woven into the fabric of daytime television. For Benard and Matheson, this failure was a glaring reminder of what ABC had failed to acknowledge in the first place, the emotional and narrative weight that soap operas held. They weren't just shows. They were like family to their viewers, and no amount of lifestyle or cooking shows could fill that gap. Meanwhile, The Chew, which survived for a much longer period, still didn't compare to the emotional resonance of the soaps. While The Chew enjoyed a more extended run of 7 years, it was still unable to forge the same deep, long-term connection with the audience. Unlike soap operas, which had the unique ability to build intricate, evolving characters and long-running storylines, The Chew was confined to its format as a cooking and lifestyle show. While the show found a dedicated viewership, it was clear that it couldn't offer the emotional investment that soap fans had come to expect from their favorite characters and stories. The core issue, as both Benard and Matheson saw it, was that ABC had underestimated the power of emotional storytelling and the long-term loyalty it inspired in soap opera viewers. These weren't just fans tuning in for a quick laugh or an informative segment, they were people who had grown up with these characters, who had witnessed decades of drama, love, betrayal, and triumphs unfold before their eyes. The very essence of daytime television was built on that ongoing connection, something that talk shows, cooking shows, or other forms of programming simply couldn't replicate. It wasn't just about ratings or short-term success, it was about creating a bond between the show and the viewers, a bond that lasted for years. Even decades. Over a decade has passed since the cancellation of All My Children and One Life to Live, and yet, the pain of that decision still lingers. For many fans, it's as though the final curtain never truly came down, because the emotional scars remain. Benard shared his belief that the television industry has learned a valuable lesson from the failure of these cancellations. The decision to cancel a soap opera is no longer as simple as it once was. As Benard explained, it's not as easy as it used to be to cancel a daytime soap anymore because what those shows left behind is too great to be replaced. The lasting legacy of All My Children and One Life to Live was not just in their storytelling, but in the way they impacted their viewers' lives. These weren't just fictional worlds. They were mirrors to the real world, offering a sense of continuity, comfort, and connection that lasted far beyond the final episode. Benard's reflections highlight a shift in the television industry's understanding of the value of long-running programs. The cancellation of these soaps taught the industry that soap operas are more than just filler content, they are cultural institutions that shape not only the television landscape but also the emotional lives of their viewers. With the rise of streaming services and changing television formats, the soap opera genre may have adapted, but its emotional impact remains just as significant. The lessons learned from the demise of All My Children and One Life to Live are not lost on the industry, and while the landscape has changed, the appreciation for what these shows provided is ever present. In essence, Benard's insights point to an irreplaceable truth about daytime soaps. They are not just television shows, they are deeply embedded in the hearts of their viewers. And while no program may ever truly replace the legacy of All My Children and One Life to Live, the enduring power of soap operas in the cultural consciousness remains, proving that the bond between show and viewer is something that is never truly lost. Even with the changing times, the lessons from the past echo loudly in the present. The emotional connection of a soap opera cannot simply be replaced, it must be earned. And as Benard and Matheson both expressed, that power is something that can never be forgotten. Although daytime television has faced many challenges and crises over the years, there are still positive signs of its resilience. One of the most notable is the recent introduction of Beyond the Gates by CBS, the first new daytime drama in more than 25 years. This groundbreaking show demonstrates that the soap opera genre has not completely disappeared and still has a place in today's television landscape. The debut of Beyond the Gates marks a significant moment for the genre, showing that, despite the growing dominance of reality TV and talk shows, there is still a demand for the emotionally driven, character-rich storytelling that daytime soaps have traditionally provided. The revival of daytime drama, even if it takes the form of a new and experimental show, signifies that the genre is far from dead. Fans of classic soaps have been hungry for more. And while Beyond the Gates might not instantly replicate the level of success that All My Children and One Life to Live enjoyed, its very existence is a victory for soap opera lovers. It signals that the industry has recognized the enduring appeal of these kinds of stories, the personal drama, the deep emotional arcs, and the long-term investment viewers make in the lives of the characters. For Benard and others who have spent decades in the soap world, Beyond the Gates is a hopeful sign that the love for daytime dramas is not just a nostalgic memory but something that still has potential to thrive in the modern era. Alongside the industry's attempt to reintroduce daytime dramas, Maurice Benard has been carving out a new path for himself with his podcast State of Mind. Through this platform, Benard delves into the complex world of mental health, offering listeners an insightful look at his own experiences while engaging with guests from various fields, including fellow actors, athletes, and mental health professionals. However, Benard's podcast is not just a space to explore his own personal journey. It is also a celebration of his roots and the community that helped shape him into the star he is today. Benard has been open about the impact that his time on General Hospital and the soap opera world has had on him. Despite the challenges he's faced in both his personal life and professional career, Benard has consistently acknowledged that his success, his platform, and his identity as an actor are deeply tied to his soap opera career. He expressed that while he is exploring new aspects of life, Particularly in the realm of mental health advocacy, he will never forget the years he spent in the world of soap operas. His connection to the genre is not something he has left behind, rather. It is something that continues to inform his journey and his growth as an individual. I will never forget those years, those stories, those characters. Benard shared in one of his State of Mind episodes. They helped make me who I am today. They gave me the opportunity to connect with millions of people. Even though I'm exploring new avenues, I'm always going to remember my roots in the soap opera world. This sentiment is not only a reflection of Benard's deep appreciation for his past but also a reminder of the profound impact daytime television has on its stars and fans alike. Soap operas are often seen as a stepping stone in many actors' careers, but for Benard, they are much more than that. His connection to the genre is a central part of his identity. And his podcast is a platform through which he continues to honor that legacy. In State of Mind, he doesn't just explore mental health, he also explores the emotional depth of the roles he's played. The relationships he's formed with his co-stars, and the enduring impact of the soap opera world on both him and his audience. Benard's dedication to his craft, as well as his ongoing commitment to raising awareness about mental health, speaks to the kind of person he has become, someone who is deeply connected to his roots and values the importance of community. His podcast has provided a fresh perspective, showing fans and listeners alike that even in times of difficulty, there is strength to be found in one's journey and in the connections we make along the way. Through his openness, Benard has shown that while daytime television may have faced its trials, its impact on those who participate in it, whether as actors, crew members, or viewers, remains profound and lasting. Benard's story is a testament to the enduring power of soap operas and the emotional connections they foster. Though the genre has faced its challenges, it continues to shape lives, inspire careers, and remain a source of emotional resonance for millions. For Benard, the journey of a soap star is far from over, it's a continuous evolution, one that acknowledges the past, embraces the present, and looks toward the future with hope and gratitude. 14 years after the controversial decision to cancel All My Children and One Life to Live, the echoes of that choice continue to resonate, proving that no matter how many new shows emerge, the stories that soap operas tell still hold immense value. Maurice Benard, reflecting on the lasting impact of the cancellations, emphasized this with conviction: the stories will never stop being important, he said. The heart of daytime television still beats, even though it has gone through so many challenges. His words carry a sense of finality, yet also a sense of hope. Despite the years that have passed, the emotional power of soap operas remains unshaken. Even with the shifting landscape of television, where reality shows, talk shows, and streaming platforms dominate, Benard's statement rings true. Soap operas are unique in the way they connect with their viewers. They are more than just entertainment. They have a way of becoming an integral part of the lives of their audience, shaping their daily routines and providing a sense of continuity. The deep emotional investment that soap opera fans have in the characters and the long-running storylines is something that cannot be easily replaced. For fans, these shows aren't just a fleeting source of entertainment, they become a shared experience that transcends generations. Benard and Cameron Matheson, both veterans of the soap world, have spent years reflecting on the legacy of their respective shows. But as they look back on the past, they also remind others that the influence of soap operas is undeniable and will forever remain in the hearts of those who love them. While the industry has changed, and soap operas no longer dominate the daytime landscape as they once did, their cultural impact endures. The characters, the storylines, and the emotional highs and lows of these shows are forever etched into the memories of viewers who followed them for decades. Even with the rise of other forms of television, the emotional weight of a soap opera remains unmatched. Benard and Matheson both reflect on the fact that soap operas created something deeply personal for their fans. They provided more than just a narrative, they offered an emotional connection. They became a part of the viewers' lives, a constant they could turn to for comfort, for drama, and for a sense of belonging. The cancellation of All My Children and One Life to Live didn't just end a television show. It disrupted the lives of millions of people who had grown up with these shows, who had followed the characters through their triumphs and tragedies. And even though the industry moved on, the void left by these iconic soaps remains unfilled. Despite the challenges that daytime television has faced, the core of what made soap operas so powerful is still alive. The storytelling format, the emotional depth, and the ability to captivate an audience over the long term are qualities that have not been easily replicated. Shows may come and go, but the passion and loyalty of soap fans remain a testament to the lasting power of these programs. Benard's words underscore this: the heart of daytime television still beats. This statement is not just a reflection of the past, but also a hopeful message for the future. Even though daytime dramas may no longer dominate the television landscape in the same way, their influence is still felt deeply by those who were touched by them. In their reflections, Benard and Matheson remind everyone that the legacy of soap operas is far from over. It's not just the actors, the crew, or the producers who keep the memory of these shows alive, it's the fans. Their unwavering loyalty and their continued love for these programs ensure that the stories will live on in the hearts of future generations. Soap operas may no longer have the same cultural prominence they once did, but their significance is never truly gone. The stories they told, the relationships they explored, and the emotions they evoked will forever be a part of the cultural landscape, passed down from one generation of fans to the next. As time moves on, and as new forms of television continue to evolve, the impact of soap operas remains undeniable. Benard and Matheson's reflections offer a poignant reminder of what these shows meant to millions of viewers. While many have moved on to other forms of entertainment, the emotional connection that soap operas foster will never fade. It is a testament to the genre's lasting influence that, even 14 years later, their impact is still felt in a profound way. Soap operas, as Benard so rightly put it, are more than just television, they are a part of our lives. And their heart continues to beat in the memories of those who loved them.